Welcome to Brew Builds, your place for DIY home improvements. I'm Paul. It's that time of the year with some hedges around our yard need some trimming. But before I do that, I want to get the blades sharpened on this hedger. You ready? Let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and remove the cutting assembly off of this hedge trimmer. That way you can clamp this to a table to sharpen the blades, and it will also give me the ability to clean out and re-grease the entire drive mechanism. Tools and items needed: a hedge trimmer, a Phillips screwdriver, a small wrench, some multi-purpose grease, lubricant spray, a sharpening stone or Dremel tool, gloves, and safety glasses. I'm sure most hedge trimmers are somewhat similar in design. This one, like a lot of my tools, is pretty old. It's probably close to 40 years old, but I'm sure the principles on how to sharpen the blades should be the same on any hedge trimmer. On the brew scale, technical ability, I rate as a novice. Sharpening a tool can be intimidating, but easy once you learn how. Physical ability, I rate as easy, until you need to stand on a ladder and hold a hedge trimmer above your head. To remove the cutting assembly on this hedge trimmer, I need to remove the plastic cover first. Then remove 4 screws that hold the blade to the housing. Once the screws are removed, then use a wrench to rotate the drive motor around until I'm able to wiggle off the blade assembly. Taking a closer look at this cutting assembly, there are 2 pieces that slide back and forth past each other, and on one side is the hook and then on the other side is the blade. So we need to sharpen each side of the blade on both of these cutting assemblies. With the cutting assembly clamped to a workbench or table, move the blade so you can fit a sharpening stone in between the blade and the hook. Hold the stone at the same angle that is already cut into the blade. It should be around 60 degrees. Move the stone up and down, pushing against the blade. Be careful not to round off the cutting edge as you move the stone up and down. Holding the stone at the correct angle will prevent this. Well, as you can tell, this is going to take a while to sharpen both sides of each blade with a stone. And since we're not living in the Stone Age, I'm going to switch to a Dremel tool. You need to use a stone grinding bit with your rotary tool, making sure the stone surface is in full contact with the blade edge. Moving up and down slightly will prevent a groove from developing into the stone. The cutting edge of the blade should be shiny and sharp when finished. Move the blade assembly to sharpen the other side of the blade. When one side is all finished, I like to flip the entire assembly over to sharpen the opposite side. That way the blade cutting angle is facing the same direction. Now that the blade is sharp, I'm going to clean the blade assembly and drive mechanism area, then re-grease all the moving parts. Okay, let's get this put back together and do some yard work. The last thing you will want to do is spray some lubricant on all surfaces of the blade assembly. This is something that you really should do before each use, especially if it's been a while. I really appreciate it when you hit that like button for me, and subscribe to Brew Builds to see more home improvement videos like this one. Alright, time to go trim some hedges. The plug is polarized for safety, so the extension cord will only fit in one way. Also, this trimmer comes with an extension cord retainer that is molded into the handle. It prevents the plug from pulling out, as well as keeping the extension cord away from the blade. Now, if your trimmer doesn't have the built-in extension cord retainer, you can loop through the handle before plugging it in. If you have a newer trimmer and it uses a battery, then you don't have to worry about cutting this extension cord into two. There is a lock-on tab to hold the trigger in the on position, and a lock-off button that needs to be pushed to use the switch trigger. Hit the switch trigger to disengage the lock. Let's do this. This will cut anything that will fit between the hook and the blade. Even some branches that are slightly bigger. Around the size of an extension cord or finger. Let me unplug. It would be really bad to lose one of these, so be careful, which means keeping hands and fingers away from the blade. Having sharp hedge trimmers will make the cuts nice on the ends of your plants, which should keep your plants happy and healthier, so it's worth taking the extra time to sharpen your hedge trimmers occasionally. Now, if you want to see more videos of me working in the garden, check out this playlist here. Okay, what else do I need to trim? Maybe I could turn a hedge into a dinosaur, or an F1 car.